Yay, I'm so glad to have you, Lauren. So today we have Lauren Morgan with Activated Law. Lauren, tell us a little bit about yourself and the types of clients that you help.
I am a business attorney. I specialize in all things business law, so pre-litigation, basically. So my philosophy is that I help you protect yourself and stabilize the foundation of your business to mitigate the risk of problems later down the line. So getting your contracts in place, getting your entity in place, your intellectual property even, and employment matters that people might have. So as those things arise and as you are building your company, you can just one step at a time build that legal protection and barrier to prevent you from running into legal issues down the line that actually might cost you all of the time and effort that you've invested in building the business in the first place. So kind of as people build the foundation of their business, it's equally important to be building the legal protection of the barrier that's going to protect that business. The higher it gets, the more risk you have involved. And if you aren't protected, you could lose all of that.
Ooh, so we definitely need you, no doubt. And how, something you just said makes me think, how often do businesses get kind of blindsided, having built it, it's their dream, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
they find themselves in a legal precarious situation and then they're in the position of possibly losing it all. Does that happen often?
Often, yes, unfortunately. I have those calls weekly, and it can be something as little as you're in the very beginning, right? Anytime you're starting something and you haven't protected it, you're taking that risk. And so I've talked to some people where they have started the business, they have other partners involved, and they're having those discussions, and they have no NDAs in place, right? The non-disclosure agreements. They have no protection. And so someone in the partnership, they don't have partnership agreements yet, excuse me. And so someone in the partnership, the potential partnership, runs off with their idea and steals it. And it was their original idea because they had the funding and means to do it sooner. They just took it and ran off with it. And they're like, oh, well, what can I do? Not much, because you weren't legally protected. And we don't have a contract in place to hold them accountable to that. So right off bat. So things like that, intellectual property issues arise all the time. Contract issues arise all the time. And unfortunately, I have these calls at least 2 to 3 times a week. And this is the wrong time to need the legal protection because you're in a panic, you're stressed, and that is going to cost you more money, right? The way that businesses run, and anytime you are in urgent need of something, right? That protection, things like that, that means I need to push you to the front of my calendar, which means that I have to push back my other clients. And so with that does come the cost of not only your peace of mind, but it does come potentially at an extra cost for the service provider who is going to be getting you protected as well.
Oh my goodness. So get with Lauren sooner rather than later. Don't wait until you need her to call her. Call her to find out what you need in advance. So Lauren, we're just grateful to have you in our networking action group here in the Phoenix Valley. And I know that the members are very grateful to know that they have someone with your expertise on tap. Tell me if you are able to work with people outside of Arizona, because we have the benefit of having you. Do you work with people outside of Arizona as well?
Yes, I do. I have several clients in different states. And usually what that applies to is their intellectual property. Intellectual property is federal law governed. So it does not matter where their attorney's licensed as long as they are, it's a federal law, so they can practice that anywhere. Also, I do help with some other matters in a consultant format. And later this year, I'll be licensed in a few more states. So I'll be able to add those states as well. So
very, very good. So last but not least, we're in a very unique situation in the world today. What's a tip that you might give to a business owner that's kind of like blindsided by the current economic, situation we find ourselves in? Business, is probably a lot slower for many companies. What's the tip that you might share with companies that, find themselves in a very odd and unexpected place right now?
well, first of all, I would say that you are not alone in this. We are all having to be really creative in our businesses right now and be flexible and really understanding and working with others. But I think this is actually a really, really wonderful time because there's this book where it's called Profit First, and it talks about how
Yes.
I love Profit First, but it talks about the creativity of new business owners, right? Sometimes we are been in our business for 10 to 15 years and things are good and we're stuck in our ways. But if we go back to those beginning stages where we were under a little bit of pressure, it forced us to be creative and to think of ideas that actually worked. And so I think in times like now, we can have a unique opportunity to do that, right? So we're under a little bit of pressure and we have to figure out some things, but millionaires are made in these seasons right now. And so the first thing I would say is do not give up, even though it might be a stressful time. Definitely take the time that you need for self-care and make sure that you are in a great mental space and can maintain that. But secondly, this is the time to continue pushing forward and keep trucking for gold, right? So coming up with new ideas, coming up with business ideas and implementing them, putting them in place. This is the time to do it, because we don't know when that business might take off and be needed, especially in this time. If you're proactive and you're thinking about this, we're projected to have another wave of this, right? Once this goes away, they're projecting it's going to come back, right? And so coming up with creative ideas that are helping people in this time will really set you up for long run success. And also while you're doing that, this is also a good time to, while you have maybe some more free time on your hand, you're not going out on the weekends and things like that, to really work on those side hobbies or passion projects that are potentially a business that you've been putting off forever. Work on that now. Take the time to draw out the ideas, get the things in place, have a consult with an attorney, talk with people. I offer free 30-minute consults with clients, and just get those ideas out there and start talking about them now and getting them developed so that you can make profit off of them once everything is over. Even if not now, sooner than later, this might be opportunity for you to capitalize on the idea you have now as well. So.
Very great. Well, Lauren, tell us how we can reach you. What's the best way to get in touch with you when they hear this and know that we need to get in touch with you sooner rather than later?
Yeah, you can visit my website at activatedlaw.com and sign up for a consult on there, learn some more information about me. My email is also on there, but it's Lauren at activatedlaw.com as well. So,
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have had you here, and I know the people who will hear this will be tremendously benefited from hearing it as well. So thank you so much.